So in this short recording session, I'm going to quickly cover the HoloLens as well as the overall workflow that's involved with developing an application for the platform itself. Now, if you're interested in the HoloLens, then there's a high chance that you've already attended the face-to-face session with Winyu earlier this week that covers like the hardware in detail. So again, this recording is going to focus more on the software rather than the actual capabilities of the hardware itself. Now, what I have here on my screen is the Windows Device Portal web interface. And basically, this is the interface that you're going to be using in order to do stuff like debugging or getting specific hardware information with your HoloLens. Now, the way you can access this screen is if you actually connect your HoloLens to your same network, so via Wi-Fi, and typing the IP address of your HoloLens on your web address in your web browser. And that should transport you to this page right here. Now, there's a lot of tabs in here on the sidebar, as you can see, but what I want to show you right now is the Mixed Reality Capture tab. And basically, this page will actually let you stream a live preview of the HoloLens. So basically, you can have a look at my current perspective, because right now I have the HoloLens put in. So as you can see there, it actually does a pretty good job of ensuring good quality of the footage. And you can also see the hologram interface, which is following my current line of sight via the eye tracking capability of the HoloLens. So quick recap as well. You've got hand tracking so that the HoloLens can actually determine if you're pressing stuff like buttons in your holograms, for example. You've also got stuff like gesture tracking. So if you want to bring up the start menu, for example, you can actually open up your palm and face it towards your lens. And as you can see, the HoloLens will detect that, and it will spawn this Windows logo right here, which I can press in order to bring up the interface. Now, one more thing, as you probably noticed there earlier, you'd see like some sort of 3D meshes flashing by along the objects in my surroundings. So that's showcasing the environmental sensing feature of the HoloLens as well. So if I just quickly load up this example application here, which was generated in Unity, by the way. There we go. So as you can see, as soon as the application starts up, you'll notice that the objects and the surfaces around my room are actually being recreated as these 3D meshes. So basically, this is the HoloLens, like method of trying to recreate, like your current surroundings in, in virtual space. And you can take advantage of this feature in your applications if you decide to do so as well. So if you can see, if I hover around, you'll notice that it does a pretty good job of actually, trying to scan what my surroundings actually look like and then creating those 3D meshes right there. You also notice that my hands right now is also being rendered. So this is how the HoloLens is actually tracking my hands, including any sort of gestures that I make for whatever purpose it needs to do for the app. Now, let's quickly jump out of the live preview and actually jump into Unity in order to have a look at the project setup. Now, with Unity, all you really need to do is set up a brand new project. And then once you have that new project set up, you need to import a specific package called the Mixed Reality Toolkit for Unity. You can actually download this from the official HoloLens development website. And once you downloaded that, you can actually go ahead and import that into your Unity project using the Assets Import Package option. And once you've finished the import process, what should happen is that a window called the MRTK Project Configurator window will show up. And basically what that does is pre-configures your project settings in order to make sure that your project is development ready for the HoloLens. So once everything's sorted out there, you should be able to see the MRTK package, which is what it's called, in your project folder. And that should contain everything from stuff like the SDK itself, so the scripts that will actually let you access the APIs to tap into the various classes and methods and whatnot from the SDK. And also you've got some example scenes as well. So if you want to have a look at the features available in HoloLens, for example, you can have a look at the UX, you can have a look at prefabs, and so on and so forth. So you definitely have a lot of assets to explore here if you want to start experimenting with the HoloLens. Now, the thing with this one is you do need to be a bit adept with your scripting because you do have to make your own custom classes, along with any sort of custom tools and whatnot in order to actually take advantage of the APIs for your own applications. Now, if you're actually interested in using the HoloLens for your development in any of your future assignments, for example, so say the group assignment, then I would suggest that you contact Winyu because Winyu is going to be the one that will actually connect you to those resources. Say, for example, manual pages, setup pages, and even like links to that package download link that I have here. So say, for example, you have finished creating your project, developing your project, and you want to start building and deploying it for the HoloLens. What you need to do is you need to head over to the File and Build Settings menu. Of course, make sure that you add the open scenes. And under the Platform tab, you need to actually make sure that your platform is set to the Universal Windows platform because HoloLens is actually using a custom Windows 10 version as its operating system. So what that means is that if you go to your Unity Hub, you need to make sure that your current Unity Editor version actually has the Universal Windows Platform module installed. So if you go ahead and go to the Add Modules, you should be able to see this particular checkbox ticked right here. And then once that's done, it's just a matter of clicking Build and then selecting the folder where you want to save your particular build. I'm not going to do that in here because it is going to take a while. But once that build process finishes, what will actually happen is that the folder where you saved your project in will generate a Visual Studio solution file. So this solution file is what you actually need to open in order to actually build and deploy the app to the HoloLens. So if we open this up, now press OK on that. So like think of it like this, like Unity generates the files necessary in order to actually be able to open up the project in Visual Studio in order to build it from there. Because the build process will need to happen in Visual Studio in order for your HoloLens to actually recognize the app and in order to run it. Now, if you have your HoloLens connected via Wi-Fi, all you really need to do is in this checkbox here, you need to set your target platform to ARM64. And then make sure that this device target is set to remote machine. And then it's just a matter of going to the debug menu and then clicking Start Without Debugging. Now, if you want to do the build and deploy process via USB cable, so locally, you need to make sure that your HoloLens is connected to your machine via USB cable type C, because the HoloLens has a USB-C. And then in the device target button here, you just need to set that from remote machine to device. And again, once that's done, it's just a matter of going to the debug menu and then going to Start Without Debugging. And once you should be able to see the progress of the build in this console window here below. And once that finishes, you should be able to see your application automatically starting up in your HoloLens headset. And that is pretty much it for like the overall workflow. So quick recap. You need to create a brand new Unity project. You need to import the MRTK package from Microsoft in order to make your project HoloLens ready. And then you need to start developing your application. So that's tapping into the SDK to create your custom classes and your functions and your interactions. And then once you're happy with the project, it's just a matter of going to build your project, targeting the UWP platform, and then using the generated solution file from Unity, you open it up in Visual Studio, and then you actually go ahead and select your target platform as ARM64, and then deploy either via remote machine if you have your HoloLens connected via Wi-Fi in the same network, or device if your HoloLens is connected via USB-C cable. That's it.